Unless anyone has a question. You can pass.
Sure.
Probably right. It's kind of cool how to see to convert binary and hex. I like that part.
I thought the procedure for the bridges was kind of interesting, like how it figures out which board is attached to what machines.
I was going to say, I thought it was really interesting with RFID, the way the tags send and receive information, because they're not doing anything with the power themselves, like it's the reader that's supplying the power. And I just think it's cool how it's going over the air, and powering it up. I've never seen, I'd never read anything about that before until I went to RFID.
Okay, great.
Group 7. Okay, so I know like Walmart's starting to put all their RFID tags into everything. So I heard like the legal implications. I know y'all talked a lot about technical, but what about the legal implications? Like they were putting RFID tags in shoes to track the shoes, and now all of a sudden you got people walking around with tags in their shoes that they can't get out because they're actually like in the layer of the shoes. And so people can track. Walmart has that code. Now every time you walk in a Walmart store, they know they sold you the shoes, so now they can track you.
Actually, I'm pretty sure they stopped doing that. I worked at Walmart for a very short period of time, and I worked in the back, and they had the little scanners, and they had like this big thing on it. I'm like, what are these for? They're like, we never use them. Like, there's nothing there. It's just like a holder. And the guy's like, it was for something about scanning shoes or clothes. I said, so why don't we have it anymore? Walmart got sued for a lot of money, so they don't use it anymore. Pretty sure that's the same thing.
So they removed the tags from the shoes.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
For the RFID, you say like the reader can actually get the data by not having any logic in the tag. It's like it's bouncing off the signal, right? So you also said that we can write into that tag. So how it is modifying? I mean, like, is there any memory or something?
Yeah, the way I'll just draw it real quick.
It's magic.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna draw a tag. It's like the way that a RFID chip is. There's like all this, which is whenever you see one of these, that's just a big old antenna. There's a tiny processor, like just kind of right in the middle like that, like a little dot. Like it's minuscule, but yeah, like it holds data. It's not much data. Like be tracking data.
So it's kind of a memory kind of thing.
Yeah, it has a little bit of memory, and they're getting bigger too. I remember reading in the chapter that it's getting more for research purposes, to where they will hold more data. So I guess they're just advancing the chips. But yeah, it does hold data.
It's pretty creepy when you think about it, because if they get cheaper and you can actually start holding real information, I mean, it could be like tracking where you go or stuff.
And it's those tags where they're talking about putting medical information and everything on them.
How the security is like, so if another reader can actually write their different information. Right? So like we have this credit cards which has this tags, right? RFID tags and that, right? And so credit card is like basically a number. So some other reader can write into a different, like it can duplicate this card, right? Basically.
I don't know. I'm assuming there's like some sort of encryption involved going from tag. Yeah, there is like there's encryption involved going from tag to reader, and they have to communicate with each other in order to know what the other one says. So there's probably like more advanced types of encryption with things like passports, because passports have RFID chips too. And I'm assuming that's the same kind of security risk that poses.
Which group was that? Which group were you?
Yeah.
It was like in the news recently or somewhere. But did you hear about some companies thinking about putting RFID chips into some of their employees?
What company was that? Like, do you know which company that was?
I never heard of that. That's pretty funny.
I haven't either.
Which company? It was multiple companies.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't heard anything about that. That sounds fishy.
That sounds quite unethical.
I
don't know if I worked there.
More advanced timesheets.
Is it
they
like,
can track when
was
you
that
walk in and
agreed
go
to,
out.
or did they like slip them in
No.
during like a medical or something?
Like, how do you like wake up one day like, how?
Was they like consent? Did they consent to have an RFID, or did they like? How do you slip somebody an RFID?
We're not going to insure you if you don't get it.
Fair enough.
I think it's more cool to imagine like my supervisor sneaking in my window one night and just like stabbing me in the neck.
Injecting you with a little RFID.
Well, maybe you can do it when you go to the doctor. So it can
Yeah.
come to your doctor.
If they did it to you when you're a doctor not knowing, that's a big deal.
It
If
also-
you do know, well,
Don't go to the company doctor.
Do they use it for like entering buildings and stuff? Or is it like a security? Yeah, like you just wave your arm over.
Well, already there's some businesses that already use it. Already there's a employee.
Right.
Or it's like
No, for sure. Yeah, you.
for
There's.
Cisco, for example, I know they use it, and actually they use it to track equipment actually throughout the entire building.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what a lot of RFID stuff is used for, is like tracking inventory, making, you know, oh, this was in this building one day, now it's in this next building, and they can usually tell you, especially with the more.
I have the BBC article about that. There's a company in Sweden. They didn't say what the name was, but they put the chip right in the web of your hand. You used the photocopier. It was on doorknobs to know what doors you had access to, and mainly just security features. So everything that you used to use a badge for was now.
See, like, I like that idea. It's just that.
I mean, it seems cool.
I don't
Like
want to
you
say
give
the
a time.
company
You
long
have
enough
You
to.
still have an RFID tag in your hand.
right. Exactly. You have an identifiable chip. In
it
your
depends if it's optional. Like if an employer told you had to have the chip, that'd be something different. But you're like, you can make this more convenient for yourself by getting a chip that would.
Yeah.
Yeah, the company here is the Watcher.
What do they do?
Watcher.
They want
Does
to
it
know.
sound? Yeah, this doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, but if you like read the company, then how would they deactivate it?
It could be like testing their stuff on their
They're
employees.
real. I assume they're very small.
I know, but would they
Nobody
ever
wants a whole
take it
building.
out if you read the company or something?
They just disable. I really don't know.
This is a question for group 3, right? So for whoever did the programming, how did you implement it, and like what obstacles did you have to overcome?
If I can find it. I did, I used a binary converter. I used that as an object. It basically just takes in the number, it splits it in, it tokenizes like each of the like dots, and then it is able to do the math on it, convert, and I just concatenate them all together. And then I won't discuss specifics, but I did it a few hours. It was I wanted to see if I could do it in with a servlet in like jQuery and stuff, but it was fun. I liked doing it.
Well, actually, did you do it just do a web app? Is that what you set up?
More or less, yeah. Java and JavaScript pretty much is it.
Using a web app would have been a better route instead of actually doing like going through and doing Java's like GUI and stuff like that.
It would have been, but I wanted to do it this way.
Yeah, like Java's GUI was a little bit frustrating to work with. I wish it was just. I think that's smart.
Yeah, I was learning at work, so I figured I'd try to apply it here. So if I figure it out, it was the best.
Yeah.
For group 6. And so you're talking about the connection, the Bluetooth connection being the slave and master name, and I was just kind of wondering if you, like in your readings on the internet or anything, like if people had any problems with that or thought it was a controversial name.
Slave master is pretty like
Yeah.
widely used in computing, just in general. Like as far as like down to hardware components,
Yeah.
you'll see, you know, you have the master hard drive and then you have slave drives. It's just like a common term that isn't necessarily unique to Bluetooth computing.
Well, I mean, Hadoop, it's like an alternative to relational databases based on massive slave too, and that's one of the biggest things going on right now. So, it's pretty much everywhere.
Eight and 9.
Okay. Group 8.
It's not here.
What would you guys say the most interesting part about this portion was? Whatever we're talking about, maybe.
Finish. I won't last my jokes together anyway.
What was the? I would just say, looking into. I like that kind of like the, like figuring out how stuff operates and looking into how the different kinds of switches worked was pretty interesting for me. Tickle different.
And group 9, the last group.
the only one again. So, what's the minor difference between Bluetooth 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0? Like any minor difference?
No, there's some different applications in some of them. There wasn't 25 in the beginning. Oh God, how many were there? I can't remember how many there were, but there was some software updates too, but there really wasn't too much difference.
Any speed advantage, because we buy phones and that each phone has say Bluetooth 3, Bluetooth 4, right? So when we buy a phone, because actually it has a Bluetooth 4 version, should we think that it will be faster or something like that, or just like profiles?
Should we assume it should be faster? I guess we should assume. I mean, like anytime I ever feel like they go up in a number as far as like anything technology goes, it's usually faster. But is it faster? I don't think it is like super fast. I guess it's just It's
just the version number.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Let's applaud the presenters.
Either we get a first place, second place,
How many people are here from group 7?
So who was the winner now?
Well, 7's the winner.
Who is the winner?
7 is the winner.
Okay.
You can split it up between whoever is in your group.
Get $10 out of that for second place.
Is there anyone else here in group 7?
Yeah, we're here. But it's Robert.
Oh, you guys split it up however you feel.
You guys play over there.
That's your money.